Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a champion guide for the new legendary Vergumkaar. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so I have no idea when you are watching this video. It could be right away, or it could be a year from when I upload it. But Vergumkaar was introduced to the game in October of 2020 as a fusion event that you see right here. Highly controversial because it is all new champions, all the rares, all the epics fusing into this champion. So it's a very, very difficult fusion event. Thus, you're hoping for the champion to be very good. In this video, I've got him maxed out. We'll take him for a test run. We'll have a discussion, and we will figure out how good Vergumkaar is as a champion, and just talk about everything about him in general. And first of all, as we pull up the index here, we can see the thumbnail avatar here looks super cool. Looks like a really BA lizard, and then you click on it and you get this blob right in your face. Looks like something that like a dwarf would ride around on a conquest or a mission or something. So definitely very interesting in terms of aesthetics on Vergumkaar. And I always seem to randomly add an A in his name, but that doesn't exist. It's just Vergumkaar. Okay. So first of all, remember, as always for my champion guides, I do have an infographic right here that you can find down in a pinned comment. Nice and easy for you to pull that up whenever you want to take a look. It shows you all the basics, like the fact that he takes 13 books, the optimal stats, the grades on the right side there, and then the masteries that are used on the champion that you see in this video. But I always like to disclaim that you should not ever blindly copy masteries. You want to build the champion yourself and just use that as a point of reference and starting point. But let's put that away for now, and let's dive into the kit here. Okay, so in terms of base stats, 22,000 base HP is pretty solid. The attack, this guy's not a damage dealer. He does scale with attack, unfortunately, which is a huge mistake in my opinion. This guy should be scaling with HP for sure. So the attack, you're not going to build him as a damage dealer, so that's pretty much irrelevant. The defense of 1,200, the way he is structured, he should be higher than that. He should be at 1,300 or 1,400 on the defense, so that's a little bit low as well. Speed of 99 is a little bit on the low end, but not too bad. I would like to see that be like 102 or so. The rest doesn't really matter. 50 resistance is decently sturdy. That's pretty good. I'm happy about that. 10 accuracy, probably should be 20 if the rest of his base stats are going to be as low as they are, but pretty much par for the course in terms of resist and accuracy. It's just that the defense speed are a touch low and the attack is largely irrelevant, so I wish that he scaled with HP instead. So then for the A1, we've got attack one enemy with a 35% chance of placing a stun debuff for one turn. The chance increases by 15% for each buff on the target. So I wish this started at 40 and the books were +10, and then just remove the qualifier. I don't like it when legendaries have qualifiers that are based on something that the opponent does. It's a little bit better when it's based on something your team does, because then you can really plan around it when you're building a roster and building a team for success. I don't like it when legendaries have qualifiers based on something that the opponent is doing, because you can't really consistently build around that for consistent value. So the A1 is technically pretty decent. Stun is a very good crowd control debuff, and if you can book this up to a 40% chance and then pop off a couple 15s based on buffs being on the target, it can be a pretty reliable stun. So all in all, it is a pretty decent A1. It's just structured a little bit weirdly in my opinion. Then for the A2, we've got remove all provoke. Then for the A2, we've got remove all provoke debuffs and one random debuff from all allies. Place a 60% increased defense buff for 2 turns on all allies who have debuffs removed. So it doesn't have to be a provoke, it can just be any debuff. And then also place a shield buff on all allies equal to 20% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. We can book that to a 3-turn cooldown. So this ability is pretty solid. It's probably the best part of his kit. We're going to remove all provoke debuffs and one random debuff, so you don't have to use it only against provoke champions. You're also going to get some value even if you absorb different debuffs and then cleanse them. And then gonna place a 60% increased defense buff, which is very good if you remove any debuff from anybody, which is gonna be pretty common, especially if you're manualing this in the arena. And then the 20% of max HP for 2 turns is all right. It should probably be like 25 or 30%. 20% is a little bit low, but all in all, I'm okay with this ability, especially with it being a 3-turn cooldown. pretty decent A2. Then on the A3, we've got attack all enemies, which is basically irrelevant. It might as well not even hit enemies because this guy is mostly a ZDPS character. Not going to be building him to hit hard or anything for sure. Remove 1 random buff from each enemy. That's pretty solid. Has a 75% chance, we can't book that to improve it, of removing 2 random buffs from each enemy. That's pretty good. Places a block heal. They usually say that as a 100% heal reduction. Debuff for 3 turns on enemies who have 1 or more buff removed. Also places a 60% decreased defense for 2 turns on enemies who have 2 buffs removed. So if you can get in a context where you're going second, where you're going after your opponents, have done a lot of things on the battlefield, placing buffs and things, you can really come in and get some decent value on a couple of these abilities here on the A2 and the A3. Place heal reduction 3 turns is a really, really long time, especially if this thing books to a 3-turn cooldown. And the guaranteed effect of AoE buff strip of removing 1 random buff, it does have utility, and then a pretty high chance of removing 2 from each enemy. And then I don't like how the decreased defense debuff for 2 turns it has a very difficult qualifier, because you've got an epic champion like Saris where there's no qualifier. It just strips everything, decrease attack, decrease defense, and that's an epic champion. So I don't think this guy is so good where like it would be broken if he had an ability that was similar in strength to Saris, since he is a very tough fusion and he is a legendary. And then for the passive, we've got immune to provoke debuffs, fills the champion's turn meter by 20% each time an enemy attempts to place a provoke on this champion. I'm okay with that. I think that's pretty cool. Just flat out being immune to provoke is definitely an interesting ability. The turn meter boosting is a little bit low. I would probably make that 25 or 30. But all in all, I think it's a pretty decent passive. You could have maybe even added a little bit of utility, like 50% chance that allies will just naturally resist provokes that are attempted to be placed on them. That would give him a little bit more ally utility with his passive, and I don't think that would have broken him or anything. He could use a little bit of love, in my opinion, on this kit, because with qualifiers and with having to go second and needing so many things to kind of synergize to get value out of this guy, I don't think it would be a problem to go ahead and give him a little bit of love on some of these areas, and the passive would have been a good opportunity for that. Then we've got an aura of increased ally resist in all battles by 55. We are seeing more and more resist teams, especially in the arena, tag team arena and stuff. So the resist aura is getting more and more valuable as the game kind of grows. So I'm okay with this aura. You can definitely use that in certain scenarios. But now let's head on over and I will show you the Vergumkaar that I've got. See, I did it again. I added the A. And I will show you the Vergumkaar that I have built on this account. And we'll talk about the gearing process, booking process, and masteries. And by the way, huge shout out to IEM Pinedas, who got lucky enough to summon this guy and has let me using his account to go ahead and test things, and play around with him, build him, dive in, and really get a video out there for you guys. So I do appreciate you, IEM Pinedas. So as we dive into the gear here, now he does place the shield with that one ability, so getting a lot of HP on him is going to be a really good thing. He is also a good candidate for the shield set, because that scales with champions that are going to be using the lots of HP in their building process. So if you want to see the stats on this one, I don't have this guy min-maxed because I didn't want to take some of this gear to 16, because they're not super rich on silver, and we've got an artifact enhancement event coming up, so I didn't want to go too crazy spending on their account. I'm going to let them decide what they want to max. But if you want to see, this is the stats here. You want to go with a lot of HP and defense. Don't worry about attack. Get as much speed as you can on him, 200 something, and then don't worry about crit rate, crit damage. Accuracy, you do want a good amount of accuracy on him. The A1 stuns are pretty impactful, and he does do some debuffing, so accuracy is definitely a good thing. And resistance, it's going to be really hard to stack enough accuracy and resistance. Usually you're going to have to choose one or the other. I would probably choose accuracy in this case, and then try to pair him with somebody who can block debuffs like a Duchess, or somebody who can do cleansing like Hawkhorn Smashlord. And then just to show you the gear that I went with here, you're probably going to want an accuracy banner most of the time, and then something that has lots of HP and speed. This one's pretty good here. Defense is good as well. And then the amulet. Remember, we're going to be placing a shield based on HP, so we definitely want to take opportunities to get HP where we can. The amulet and the ring are going to be good opportunities for that. The boots, you can go speed or HP percent. If you've got HP percent boots that roll 2 or 3 speed rolls as a substat, totally fine to go HP. You're not going to be really using this guy in super high speed nuke teams. So there are times where HP percent boots could be viable on this guy. Chest is almost always going to be HP percent, and the gloves are almost always going to be HP percent as well. The shield, helm, and weapon are going to be pretty self-explanatory. You're looking for lots of HP, speed, and accuracy for the most part, but here is those, just in case you wanted to see the ones that I put on here, but they're not maxed or anything because I want to wait until the artifact enhancement for them to spend a little bit more efficiently. And then for the booking process, the books are decently impactful on him. I just question if right now in the current state of the game, as of me making this video, 13 legendary books is a lot. Legendary books are tough to come by. They're really expensive to buy them in packs. I don't think this guy is account changing enough to be throwing 13 books at, and if you're gonna book him, you almost have to do it all because you get cooldowns and stun chance, which is very important. So I can't really recommend that you guys run out to book him. I question if in the current state of raid if he's worth 13 books. Now maybe somewhere down the road in the Doom Tower or some sort of mechanic that comes along in the game, provoke is going to be very devastating, and maybe this guy will be very good, or maybe he'll get buffed in the future. If he does, I'll keep you guys posted, but as of right now for the booking process, I'm going to say probably hold off on the 13 books, and I can't really recommend that you make that much of an investment into Vergumkaar. Then for the Masteries, again, I did want to go with lots of accuracy because I want him to be getting a lot of utility out of those stuns. So I did go Eagle Eye, and Deterrence is pretty decent because CC is fairly common. And then if you get those start popping off those counterattacks and placing those stuns, that could be pretty decent on him. But yeah, not a whole lot to go over. You're really not going to use him ever in the clan boss, so you're not going to have to worry about the offense tree and getting War Master or anything. He's absolutely garbage in the clan boss. So don't be going the offense tree with War Master and trying to use him in the clan boss. There's lots of rares that are better than him in the clan boss. So I think this is a pretty generally useful setup for his Masteries. But remember, like always, you're going to want to build him around how you are using him in the context for your account. And I do want to make sure and show you this guy in action because that's going to be a lot of the fun of a video like this. So this is an example of, obviously I haven't done the battle yet, but if I was looking to use Vergumkaar in a battle, this is the type of situation where you're going to be probably getting the most value out of him. I'm going to go ahead and fight up against this Umbral Enchantress, who is very famous for placing Provoke, similar to a champion like Molly. If you get in a situation like that in the arena, where you can see on the enemy team that they're going to be placing a lot of Provoke, AoE Provoke on your entire roster, this is where you can get some value out of Vergumkaar. So let's go ahead and fire up this battle and see what we can do here. Alright, so we did win the speed battle here. Okay, so then Vergumkaar. Now, this is the unfortunate thing, is if you go first, you're really not going to get a whole lot of value, because remember the A2 is going to be removing Provoke. We want to wait until the Umbral does that, so we're not going to get a whole lot of value out of the A2. And then on the A3, it's going to be an AoE attack, but it doesn't do really any damage. This guy is horrible as a damage dealer. And then he's going to be removing buffs, but they don't have any buffs yet because we went first. So honestly, if you go first, you almost just want to pick a target that is not magic because you don't want to hit weak, and then try to stun them, basically. So their biggest source of damage is going to be the Skull Crown, so I would go ahead and just take his A1 and try to stun the Skull Crown. And we didn't get it. Remember, it's like a 35% chance to proc that, so we didn't get that. Now there is the Provokes. Okay, so this is where would be the fun of Vergumkaar here. We've got these Provokes on our whole team, and as soon as it's his turn, we'll go ahead and we will strip those Provokes off. There goes Rosin. Okay, so now, right here, remove all Provoke. Bang. And now my Arbiter can go ahead and revive because the Provoke got removed, so that was good. Now it's still going to be a little bit hard here. I actually want her to suppress probably to give me an opportunity to breathe. I want to suppress their attack. And suppression also hits very hard. Now, right now, you can see here, we're going to remove one random buff. This is where it can be pretty impactful. They've got buffs on them. Now is an opportunity for us to go ahead and use that A3. Bang, that was pretty successful. We removed buffs there. That was pretty good. We can auto the Arbiter. Let's wait on the Skull Crown. We don't want to be hitting her. What's gonna... Okay, we've already got that. Let's go ahead and bog down. And let's go ahead and stun somebody who is... Let's stun their damage dealer right there. Yep, good. We got the stun off. Go ahead and focus the Seeker here. Oh, the Provoke's actually fine there. That's not a problem. Yep. And we should be off the races now just by autoing. But yeah, that's kind of an example of a fight where you could at least probably get some value out of Vergumkaar, because you're going up against a heavy AoE provoker in Umbral, similar to if you're going up against somebody like a Torment or a Maui, somebody who's really known for AoE provoke, so you can get some utility out of that ability that removes it, and the fact that he is immune to it because of his passive. Now let's go ahead and get Vergumkaar graded in all the different areas of the game. Look at this. We are going to be the 4th person in the world to go through and do the grades for Vergumkaar. All right, so let's do this here. Magic Keep. He's Spirit. He's going to be horrible in the Magic Keep. So he does remove buffs, but he is weak. So we'll give him a 3. It's some utility, but not great. Dragon. He's not going to be great there. He's weak against stage 20, so we're going to go 3. Spider Den, no. I mean, no. Just not a whole lot of value there in the Spider. Campaign, he's not very great in the campaign either. We're going to go a 2. In the Arena, this is where you're typically going to be getting the most value out of him. I think he was mostly designed as an anti-provoker arena champ. But I don't think he's amazing in the Arena. It's really hard to extract that value consistently. So... yeah, I'm gonna give him a 3. I can't quite go on 4. Now he is a little bit better in defensive setups here, so I'll give him a 3 and a 4. But I think even that is being a little bit generous. Void Keep, no, he's just gonna be par for the course here on these keeps. He does have the stun, which can be handy. Now in Spirit Keep, we'll give him a 4. The buff removal is pretty handy. Ice Golem, again, the buff removal is pretty good. Then the reflect damage on the wave 2 on stage 20 and stuff. And he's affinity neutral, so sure, we'll go 4. Fire Knight, he's not that great in the Fire Knight, so we'll go there. Minnow, again, he's going to be pretty par for the Clan Boss. I don't know why these people gave him... It looks like one person gave him a 4 and one person gave him a 5. That's a complete meme. He's a 1, so I'm glad I was able to get that a little bit more representative of being accurate. Faction Wars, I mean, he's all right. Wizardmen can be a little bit tough to get a good roster going. And the A1 stun, I'll give him a 4. That's pretty good in Faction Wars to be able to target those stuns. So there we go, and let's get that submitted here, and we'll have a discussion about Vergumkaar in conclusion. So fire that off, and then we'll pull up the Fusion tab while we talk about it here. So yeah, my general sentiment about Vergumkaar is I'm disappointed. I'm trying not to be like too harsh or anything, but I gotta be honest. I'm disappointed in him as a champion. Maybe there's gonna be mechanics that come out in the future that make him better, like in the Doom Tower or a different clan boss or new content added to the game. But this guy strikes me as somebody that probably should have been an epic. I think if he was an epic, he'd be like an average epic. I don't think he justifies being a legendary, costing 13 legendary books, legendary ascension potions, and then how crazy this fusion is, where you have no champions saved up. I don't think he's worth sacrificing Fane and Caden for, or even Tuhawk, sacrificing 3 pretty decent epics, 1 really good epic, to get into Vergumkaar, and then I added that A again, sorry, I'm just always going to do that. So to sacrifice all that to get Vergumkaar, and then have to pay the 13 books to make his abilities a little bit more optimal, and then the fact that he has the qualifiers that are based on things the enemies do, and too many qualifiers, yeah, it's hard for me to really say that he's a really good champion and worth investing in and worth the book. So yeah, if you're watching this video right away when it came out, don't feel, in my opinion, don't feel bad. If you can't do the fusion, don't break your back doing it. I would at least go for the epics to collect them, because 2 or 3 of them are pretty decent. Fane you're gonna probably want on your account. Caden's really good in certain situations, faction wars and stuff, dungeon progression for early to mid game accounts, and then Tuat can do some fun things as well. The worst one of the 4 is probably Barath, but you know, hey, that's kind of my sentiment on the fusion in general after really diving in and playing with the champion. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. If you agree, disagree, I always enjoy hearing your input. And do remember, I will have a link down there in a pinned comment on the infographic if you want to be able to pull that up and take a look. So that's gonna do it for this video. As always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.